While we're talking brakes on MR2s, I thought I'd talk about brake pads. Now, these are Yellow Stuffs. These are Protrack Mu Racing 666s, I think. We've got PBS Prorace and we've got Dixcel Zs. What's not on this table is also two sets of Carbotechs that I've gone through, XP10s and XP8, I think they were. But if we break through the different brake pads that are available, this is all about what you're doing with a brake pad as well. Like, these are a very melted set of Yellow Stuffs, and if you go hard on a track, the Yellow Stuffs have a habit of doing this. They just completely and utterly melt. This all depends how hard you're going to go and how fast you're running. Now, this isn't against Yellow Stuff pads, because I actually run Yellow Stuff pads on my road car. On my silver turbo road car, I run Yellow Stuffs because they work very well when I pull out the end of my drive and when I'm driving around on the road. They are a good pad, and you can go pretty sprightly on them, and they're a good brake. But when you start running laps and you're going accelerate brake, 2 minutes non-stop, and then you go and do 20 laps like that, Yellow Stuffs melt. You're out of the envelope. But that's what makes them a good road pad, because they're in their envelope when you come out the end of your driveway. Now, then we end up in a world of high temperature brake pads, and I wouldn't be putting these on my road car, because when I pull out at the end of my driveway, these are not a great brake pad. You've got to go and run the car a bit, you've got to work the brakes a bit, and then they come on fury. If you want good brakes have got to be hot. So my current favourite are these Protrack Mu 666 Racing. Those and the PBS are roughly the same price point. These are a slightly better pad when they're hot than those. There's not a lot in it, you could run either, probably wouldn't make much difference, but I think they're a better pad than those. But they're a very good pad. I'd also put the Carbotechs. The Carbotechs are also in the same group as those and those. But the problem with the Carbotechs is they're 450 quid a set. And when you're only getting like 6 track days out of them, it adds to the cost of track daying, where they are only about 300 quid for a set of those to your front door through Buyee on Yahoo Auctions Japan, that you can go through Buyee to get them brought into the UK. But a set of Carbotechs is 450 quid. Now, you're paying an extra 50% on top, and you certainly aren't getting a better brake pad. They're equal. I'd say the Protrack Mus and the Carbotechs are equal. I think they do a Dixcel S as well that I tried, but I thought that the Dixcel S was more like a Yellow Stuff. Now, you are quite limited on brake pads on an MR2, so I'd say that I think these are really the best bang for buck that you can get, these Protrack Mu pads. But you've got to wait and get them from Japan. If you just want to get something to your front door, I'd probably buy those. Look at the Carbotechs if you want to buy them. They're a bit pricey. Don't think they're as good as those though. These are a pretty good pad, and they're quite cheap. But when we say cheap, we're still talking 250 quid a set, where they're 300 quid, and they knock the pants off them. I run this fluid, and running Pruis calipers, just on totally OEM discs. Keep putting new sets of discs on them. It's quite common that people swap for these Prius front calipers because they have a slightly bigger bore, and the idea is to move some of the braking effort to the front of the car. Now, when you buy these, they come with a phenolic piston. I think that's the right way to say it. It's like a composite plastic piston. I've run 2 sets of Protrack Mu Racing 666 pads, which are a very high temperature set of pads. These discs have been so hot that the back one actually cracked. So these have had a roasting. These have done nothing but track day use. They've just been ran until the wheels glow, and that's all they've done. So I thought this would be a good idea, and I don't know what this looks like right now because I just unbolted it and thought it'd be a good video. But let's have a look at the phenolic piston. Has it melted? Has it decayed? Well, the rubber has gone a bit hard, but that always happens on my track calipers because the rubber, but the actual phenolic piston itself is absolutely peachy. I didn't not swap these because I'm cheap, because I actually bought a set of stainless pistons to go in them, but I just thought, you know what, let's give them a whirl, because if we do a couple of track days and they don't melt, well, why swap them? So, you know, your mileage may vary, but it's not the phenolic piston that's the problem, it's the boots. But I've always had that problem. All my boots all completely burn away. I believe on proper race cars they don't even run a boot because the rubber just doesn't hack it. But these have been very hot. Like, we've got no paint on the back of them. We've got to that stage, so we're not taking any prisoners on any of this. So I say run the phenolic pistons. I'm probably pronouncing that really badly, but you know, they have been hot. And for anyone that doesn't know, the Mark 1 Gen 1 Pruis caliper literally is a complete bolt fit straight to the MR2 pad bracket, caliper bracket. But the difference is that the piston is like 2 mil, 2.5 mil bigger diameter piston. So, but yeah, it just fits. So you can just run these, and they're really light as well. These copy ones are a cast aluminium caliper. So I think when I looked at it, you save over 2 kilos, 2.5 kilos, just swapping them calipers out for those. So yeah, check out the Pruis calipers, and you might as well run the phenolic pistons, because you don't even need to swap them. And that's what I run on the track for brakes. I think this gives you enough braking for, you know, a pretty fast MR2, turbo ones, K-swaps and all of that. I don't think you need to go any more serious than that, but that's up to you, obviously. But anyway, there'll be lots of contradictory opinions on this matter, I'm sure, because what's one man's treasure is another man's trash. The rear pads do a lot of work on an MR2, and when we're talking wear, so they all came off at the same time. They're rears. Yeah. So normally cars don't really wear rear brakes, but MR2s wear rear brakes because you've got all the weight in the back. They do a lot of braking on the rear as much as they do on the front. And a lot of people don't appreciate that about an MR2, that's why they brake so well, because you're doing 4-wheel equal braking into the corners, and that's why you can chop all of the front engine stuff on the braking zones. If you get the brakes good, you can literally reel in, you know, 7 cars, 8 cars length of another faster car just in the braking zones. So anyway, there's my rant aside. You can experiment whatever you want. Yeah, that's just my worthless opinion, really. So I thought I'd make a video.